Hello friends. Hi, welcome back. I'm Morgan, Honeybee Stitcher here on Flosstube as well as on Instagram at the same handle. If you're returning, thanks for coming back, hanging out with me, and if you're new, hi, welcome. I am very excited to be here, not because of the fact that I have actually filmed an entire video twice before this, on 2 different days, and then both times realized that I had settings wrong on my camera and it filmed in slow-mo. And also because it's been so long since I've been here and I've missed you all and I've got a bit to show you. I've got a couple of new starts and things, so I'm just genuinely really excited to be back. I have been gone, well, not gone, but I just haven't been on here, I think, for like 6 weeks-ish. In that time, it's been my birthday, woohoo! Where Tim spoiled me and he picked up on the very subtle hint that I wanted a Lowry stand for my birthday. I conveniently sent him the link to the one that I wanted, in stock, available, ready to go from JK's Cross Stitch Supplies. So very, very fortunate that he picked up on that. I mean, at the end of the day, I would have bought it for myself anyway, but it just meant that he was able to get me something that I would actually really want and use. Still learning how to use it though, because I don't know, I think I mentioned this maybe in my last video, or maybe it was in one of the ones that I thought I filmed and was in slow-mo. I have torn tendons in my wrists and thumbs. So I get impact of pain on both sides of this wrist, and this one is just on my thumbs, and I can't put any pressure. Holding an iPad, which I sometimes have to do for an hour or so for work, is enough to, like, obviously holding it for an hour is a lot, but that can be enough to flare it up. And also trying to hold a heavier Q-snap or the wrist rotation of stitching, if I'm holding it in funny angles, can be another reason that it flares up. So the Q-snap is something that I wanted to try and minimize that kind of pain, which I fortunately haven't had too much of. But in trying to learn how to use a Lowry, I am very uncoordinated, and I did manage to hurt my wrist for a couple of days. I haven't gotten the knack of the two-handed stitching situation, and my left hand is just purely not coordinated to the rest of my body, so I'm struggling there, but I'm trying to work on it where I'm not hating it. So if you've got any tips on ways to stitch with the Lowry, let me know. I've also just been really busy with work, really drained. I've had a couple of big things that have happened with work, and it's just been too much, which surprised me because I've always kind of felt stitching to be my release, but I was just so drained from a couple of things that happened that I just couldn't bring myself to do it, which is fine. I don't want to hate the craft, and I tried to put in a couple of stitches here or there, and progress is progress, but I just was too drained. So it was binging, mainly botched, and reading were the two things that I kind of really have done a lot of over the last few weeks. We've had some family come down. We've finished a bit more of the renos, which are just constantly ongoing. We have about, I'm going to say 25% of 2 rooms left to go, which is our main toilet and laundry. They're functional, they're carcasses, or it needs a little bit more paint or something like that. So very close to those being done, and then we've just got the 2 of the largest rooms left, being the kitchen and the main bathroom. But Tim's been home the last couple of days, so it's been really nice to have him around and have him working on that, because I can't do a lot of it, and getting some progress and some big things ticked off. And then on top of that, I'm going to be a Zia. Yay! So Zia is Italian for auntie. I don't think I've ever called anyone an auntie unless I've had to translate Zia. So I'm very excited to finally be a Zia for once rather than always just having Zias. So a little girl is coming into our family in, I think it's early August. And I am just incredibly excited. It's brought this whole new life back to the family and excitement in events to come like Christmas. I just already can't wait to have a little baby around, a little kid. And the joy there, and birthdays and family dinners, just all the little milestones and the little fun things and looking after her. And on top of that, also what I can stitch for her. When I originally brought the After the Rain chart from Liz Mathews, I was just thinking it would be a nice chart to have in my stash to stitch for people if I knew that we're having a baby, or just something, it's something that can be shifted to any mood and any vibe and scenario. But now I can really see stitching, that for a little nursery, and then stitching a beautiful, mermaid or something, an animal or a ballerina or whatever it may be, a Tonka truck. Growing up and all of that. So it's just all around incredibly exciting. And as a dancer, I very much hope that little girl has some form of coordination skills to her, that she loves dancing and that I can get her into that. And that can kind of be something that we've got. I can't wait to buy a tutu. I'm going to look out for one. It's just brought this whole new life to our life, to our family, and it's just incredibly exciting. And I know that not everyone gets that, but this is the first in our family, so it's a very nice thing to have, and a new level of something to look forward to. So yeah, other than that, we are coming up to our 12-month, our 1-year wedding anniversary, which just blows my mind that it's been 12 months since we got married in the middle of the lovely pandemic. I genuinely thought at the time that we were getting married that, like, the pandemic, it was still around. Things were starting to look good. There was no crazy new strain or anything like that. So I think a lot of people probably 12 months ago to the day thought that things were completely different. And I think we just come out of a 5-day snap lockdown, and saying snap lockdown to a Victorian is just an absolute joke, because they literally never lasted the time frame that they said. So they would, I think a snap 7-day lockdown lasted 6 weeks at one point last year. But this was that genuine 5-day lockdown in Feb, and we thought, crap. How are we going to pull off a wedding? And then I remember at one point I said to Tim, I think he mentioned to me that we'd be getting married in the middle of a pandemic, and that's just going to be an epic story to tell in years to come. And I was like, it's not the middle. Like, what are you talking about? We're done. It's over. And then 2021 turned into the rest of the shit show that it was. So it's just, crazy to think about what the last 12 months has been. Also, it is currently 11:15 p.m. on a raging Sunday night, because it is a long weekend here in Victoria. And I do apologize if there's shadows and things on my stitching, but also Nala is having, I think she's sleep deprived. We'd normally be in bed by now. So she's kind of running some zoomies around and playing with some toys. So I'm sorry if there's a little bit of noise or anything like that. She's just playing. It's nothing to stress about. It can sometimes sound a little bit noisy. Anyway, that's enough of a blab. I'm already at almost 10 minutes of just chatting around and everything, catching up. One more non-stitchy related thing. I have caught up with Zodiac Academy. I've read all the 7 books. I've got the 8th and final one on pre-order. I would love some more recommendations. I'm torn whether I go into the Dark Fae series or whether I start something like A Court of Thorns and Roses. It is on my list. I really do want to read it, but I'm not sure if I'm done with the Zodiac world at the moment, or if I want to read it all now and then probably reread it come December when the 8th book comes out, or whether I want to finish where I am now and then open up the world again closer to the 8th book and read the Dark Fae series. I have read a couple of Kindle Unlimited free books which have been like love stories. Haven't loved them. Haven't hated them. They've been pretty easy reads, but I just haven't loved it. I finished a Zodiac book. I think it was book 3 in, 24 hours or over a whole weekend or something. I started on a Friday night and I finished it on the Sunday morning. And these other books that are like 300 pages long have taken me an entire week to read. So I just don't think it's my vibe. Don't think it's my style. So yeah, if you have any more fantasy style books and series, I think I'm a series gal as well. Let me know your recommendations. Thank you. Okay, now, actually, time for some stitching. I have 3 whips and I have some new starts. I have 2 new starts, one of which I have spoken about in the past. Actually, both I have spoken about in the past, but one was a planned start. I've made some pretty decent progress. I've got some plans, not fixed plans, but just some plans as well. And I think that's it. I think. Anyway, let's get to it, shall we? Also, I'm going to do my best to mention everything about every pattern and chart and material. If I don't and you want to know, shoot me a DM on Instagram or leave me a comment below and I promise I will come back to you. But first up is the lovely Hello from Liz Mathews Quaker Pumpkins. I am doing a word conversion, as you can see. It normally says All Hallows Eve. What I have stitched is Autumn Harvest, which is a word conversion that I have obtained from Megan at Georgia Girl Stitching, who kindly has provided this to me. And I think if you contact her, she will also be able to give that to you if you do like the change. I've spoken about this many times, but I have decided to change it just because we don't celebrate Halloween here. So this is something that I can keep up all autumn. And I do like that it wasn't fall, it was autumn as well, which we are currently in, and I completely forgot. So my plan with this is to try and get it done, not fully finished, like not a fully finished object, but just finish it before the 1st of May, which it will be its 12-month anniversary of when I started it. I started this on the 1st of May 2021 with Evelyn at Evelyn Across the Pond in a little continuous Hello from Liz Mathews stitch along using the hashtag Hello Quaker SAL. There is currently now 3 Quaker charts from Liz Mathews, the 3rd one being released from Market, Quaker Garden, which is just chef's kiss stunning. It's got an alphabet, which I'm not a fan of stitching personally, but this is just such a beautiful piece. And like the flowers for it are the Quaker motifs. I think she's just done an absolutely beautiful job. So that I haven't purchased yet, but will be a Market purchase. And so the idea behind the hashtag Hello Quaker stitch along was universal for the 2 Quakers and any potential ones, because at the time Liz had hinted that there would be more. So it works for Quaker Pumpkins, Quaker Snowflakes, and now Quaker Gardens as well. This is stitched on 40 count Newcastle linen, hand dyed by myself using the called for Week Styleworks floss. And I am stitching it 1 strand of thread over 2 squares, so 1/2. It's all the called for except the wording in here. They are still being, even though they're charted, they are being stitched with colors that are in the pattern. So yeah, basically to this border. Oh, I didn't realize that's been off screen this whole time, sorry. Basically to this border, this whole section is done. I just have the last bit of border and the large pumpkin, which you can see here. I have already put a little bit into of leftover thread from somewhere else. So my plan is now that I've shown it, I will shuffle it across on the Q-snap and get the rest of it in, and then that way I can just finish this beauty off. So let's hope I get this done by the 1st of May. Okay. Next up is my full coverage piece. So in January, Beth Warsaw, busy bee sealing me. I say it wrong every time. On Instagram, she has created a hashtag for, instead of doing New Year, New Start, it was putting 2022 stitches into a current whip. And so I saw that post. I saw Embroidery also post that she was going to do it, and I thought this would actually be the perfect thing to kind of get me back working on eye candy, my full coverage, which I started as a New Year, New Start for 2021, and I ended up miscounting somewhere and then it went in the sin bin. So for January, I stitched 2022 stitches. For February, I stitched 2022 stitches. The idea was to do it within the first week of the month, of the month. Beth, I think only was doing it for January. Myself and Mel have both kind of continued it on. Feb, I did it again also in the first week of the month. And then this month, with just how things have been, I've tried to get to 2022 stitches, not in the first week of the month, because that was just never going to happen. But I've done 1600 and I'm over it. So anyway, here we are. So all I have been working on is all of this white. So until this point down here, I have completed all of the white of this color in this section. It's going to start getting quite dense and thickening up here, and I've already in the past stitched some white here, so it's, yeah, like this whole bit. And I feel like for where I am, I need to now either move the Q-snap and continue working on the white, or I need to start filling in this section with the colors. And I just don't know what I want to do, because part of the reason I was liking doing this so much was because there's over 31,000 stitches of this one color. And I didn't want to get burned down on it, but I didn't want to leave it all to the one kind of time. And I've stopped at 1600 stitches this month because I started to get that feeling. And I'm just not sure if maybe I need to readjust everything and start again next month and see if something changes, or whether I start putting in some color. So I just thought before I burn out and start hating it, I'm just going to put it away. I've made some massive progress, 1600 stitches in a week, but not in the first week. Amongst working on other things and having a hectic work schedule, I'm proud of that. So I just wanted to kind of let that go. And like, this whole thing is what I've done this year. So that's pretty epic. I'm pretty proud of that. Anyway, this is, I don't think I said it before, this is Eye Candy, which is artwork by Carissa Rouge, and it is a charted kit from Gecko Rouge. I'm doing the 18 count Ada kit, so it's all the called for material and threads all together, and I'm stitching this 2 strands of thread over 1 square on the Ada. Also, my little bee needle minder is from Ginger Stitch, au on Etsy, and I have another little bit of haul from Ginger Stitch as well to show you. But yeah, that's that one. Nala is now being incredibly quiet, and I don't know why. Oh, she's on the couch asleep. Okay, now, long awaited, hang on, I need to work out which one this is. I do this every time. Every time. It is Turtle Quaker by Our Forest Embroidery. I get this confused because I'm also stitching a Quaker turtle and I forget which one's which. But this is probably one of the most commented on things missing in my videos. A lot of people that comment saying, oh, I hoped to have seen this. So I heard ya, and I'm glad I heard ya because it meant that I got it out and I've put some stitches into it. So kind of just, last time you saw it, it was just this big bad boy here. And then I've pulled out enough to get this motif going so I can work down and kind of start the bottom band. I think there's there's 2 bands down below. So this motif up here and then all of this section and this little guy is what I've worked on since. I am stitching this on 32 count Silvery Moon. I believe it's Swagger. Yes, it is. It's got the orange. I did buy it all from Our Forest Embroidery, and I'm using their thread, which is part of the reason that I've actually really struggled to be stitching on this. Needle Minder is a turtle from Agnes Little Needle Minders. I'm struggling to stitch on this one, not because I don't love it, and not because I don't love Our Forest threads, but Our Forest Embroidery have 3 thread base options. One of them is the DMC base, and then there are 2, I think they're both Russian thread based brands, or I don't even know if we know the brands. I was very confused when I purchased the threads for this, so I think I just went with the middle one, which is a Russian based one. And I love a thick coverage. This gives, see how close I can get it. That gives a thick coverage. I love how that looks, but the thread, as much as it feels quite lush, it's really driving me a bit nuts in stitching with it. And it is, I've got another Our Forest thing. So for me, it purely is this thread. It feels very soft here, but when stitching with it, it feels like straw. It's very coarse and it gets twisty and knotty and all of that. And it's just giving me a bit of the, I want to swear. It's giving me a bit of the shits. So it's kind of taking away the joy and the fun of stitching it, but then I'm also still enjoying stitching it. So I think that's why I put it down for a while and I struggled to pick it back up. I'm glad I have picked it up. I've left it on a Q-snap so that I can try and pick it up a bit more. So we'll see when I get to it, hopefully soon. I just got to get over my issue with the thread, but that's okay. So that's that. Did I go over it? 32 count Silvery Moon. I did. Zweigart. I'm stitching it 2 strands of thread over 2 squares, so 2 over 2, using the called for Our Forest Embroidery threads. And then I have 2 very exciting new starts. This one here I have been speaking about for a little bit. Oh, I have the cover photo. Haha. It is Pisces by Nora Corbett. Birthday start as I am a Piscean. So I started this on my birthday with the hashtag It's Pisces Season Sal, and there's been a number of you that have been joining in and stitching it, which I've loved to see the progress on. So use that, tag me, whatever it is, I want to see it. But here is my progress so far. I probably should have kept that out. I don't have anything. So I am stitching this on, hopefully you can try, I might try, a 32 count Perman linen, which I purchased in store from Stitch Shop in New South Wales. It is in the colorway Icelandic blue, so it does have like a very pale icy blue color to it. I am stitching as called for, except that I have substituted the threads in her skin, except for the 838, the darker one. I have substituted the rest of her skin for the Yumia M&M's skin silk pack. And there is a color, this green color, if it focuses, is Marsh, which is from the December floss box from M&M's as well, which was just beautiful to stitch with. It is supposed to be a called for DMC, but I didn't have it at my local Spotlight and I couldn't get anywhere else. And when I looked up the color, it's basically pretty damn smack on. So, and like silk is just hands down nicer to stitch with. So it was an easy decision for me to make. But I'm going to have this one, I think, as a bit more of a travel piece over the next couple of weeks. She's little, big enough to see, and I also have the paper copy of the chart if I can't stitch off my iPad. So hoping that I can get the rest of the bodice done, and then from there, working on the bodice has a lot of colors that are in the fish that surround her. So hoping that by doing the bodice, I get the fish done. So yeah, very, very excited, and I'm loving stitching on this one. Also, needle minder, again, if it focuses, is a Louise from Bob's Burger needle minder from Ginger Stitch AU on Etsy. So that's Pisces. I'll show you, in case you haven't seen it before. So these are the 3 Yumia M&M silks in the skin collection. So I have used 1859, which is the lightest one, which is the last known slave ship to arrive in the United States. 1866, which is the darker, before the DMC color, is the darker color in her skin. 1866 is the Civil Rights Act. Sorry if I'm supposed to know this off the top of my head. And then the mid color is 1873, which is the first open heart surgery performed by a black doctor. And so I just make my own little floss tags, and I've just, for now, kept the label from Yumia. And then this is the silk, the marsh coloured from the December floss box, which is just so delicious to use. So it's supposed to be, in substitution, I think it's for DMC 955, and this is DMC 954, and it was the lighter of the two. So I think that this has definitely been quite a nice change. So I have never substituted pretty much anything. I've never done my own conversion. Not something that I feel like I have that kind of skill on. So this is like the first time I've done it, and it's very nice to see that it actually has worked. I know that I've kept it in line with the traditional colors that were charted, but it was nice to still kind of get it right. So yeah, that's that. And then lastly is a long awaited new start. It is Golden Bees by Our Forest Embroidery. I will place a picture here as I threw out the box when I got it and put it in a bag. So you can only get this one in a kit. So I brought the kit when it was first released. So in that kit was the floss, the chart, a needle minder, fabric, needle, and then with the chart it had the option, it didn't have an option, sorry, it had both the full chart and then also each individual motif. So if you ever wanted to just stitch an individual motif on its own, you could then, you had it there and it was charted, which I think is pretty cool. And obviously with a surname like Honey, I will probably most likely find use for at least half of them. But then on top of that, I am using, and I don't have it here, a bag that I made that has some bees on it. So a project bag for this one. Nicola from Number 12 Stitch Co. also has these little floss bling, floss keep things in her shop. So I purchased one of those a little while ago for myself. Very fitting chart for it. And then a new release that was also in Ginger Stitches AU's Etsy shop was some floss tags. I have had trouble trying to show these every time I've tried to film this video. They are little honey bee themed floss drops. So I don't know if you can actually see. Maybe not. I might have to put a photo up so that you can. Oh, there you go. So they've got the honeybee, the honeycomb to it, and a little bit of a bee. And then I've just done like a little sticky tape and piece of paper in the back for now. How do other people use these acrylic things to know what tag relates to what color? Because I've got no idea. So that was my little method. So I have all of this together. So I've got my little floss tags and my thread keep, and then these are the very yummy Our Forest embroidery threads, which I have pre-cut. I've kept the bobbins, so they do come with a little thick cardboard bobbin with the like symbol on them, but I hate bobbins, so I've done it this way, and then I've kept them so that when I'm done and I'm ready to pack this back away off the floss tags, I can put it back on the bobbins. So what I wasn't sure about was what base these were, because when I brought the Quaker turtle, I had to pick what thread base I wanted, but when I got this, it was just the kit, and that was the first thing I brought. So I didn't know that they had multiple different kinds of threads, and I didn't put 2 and 2 together when I got the Quaker Quaker threads. Anyway, these are the DMC based over dyes, or dyed from Our Forest embroidery, and these feel absolutely delicious. And so far, with the very small start I have made, have actually stitched really nicely as well. So lesson learned for me moving forward. I will, if I ever buy Our Forest threads again in the very distant future, very distant because of everything going on right now, I will look at getting the DMC base. But it's just 7 colors. I don't know if you can hear Nala sooking, but she's sooking because Tim's not home. It came with two skeins of these 2 colors, because it is literally what makes up like the entire chart. Anyway, moving on, here is my very little start on this beauty. So it is using the called for 32 count something. I don't know, it's obviously Zweigart based because it's got the orange, but 32 count something. If I remember, I will pop it on the screen. That is the needle minder that it has come with, and the needle. And I have done a center start. So there is the big center bee flower, little green garland. So that is the start of the first bee. And then I'm going to work my way around with the green around the big circle and then that way my center is done. But yeah, it's actually, these threads have been really, really nice to stitch with, and I'm liking the variegation, except for the fact that that is supposed to be the bee, and it is, it's not black like the bee body, it's not black, but it kind of all looks like it could be part of the one thread, and they do look very similar actually, but it is actually these two threads. So anyway, I am just stitching this using the, I think it's just OF Golden Bees hashtag. I don't think there's an associated hashtag with it, but if you are stitching it, or if you're going to join in, or you want to join in, let me know. Happy to flip it into a little stitch along hashtag, or just tag me in what you're stitching if you're stitching it, because hello honey, love it. But yeah, that's what I've done so far. So I guess my plans for now, I would like to get Pisces finished whilst it's still Pisces season, and I would like to get Quaker pumpkins done by the end of April, before its 1 year anniversary. Very, very excitingly, shipping from the US is apparently starting to resume again. So Jeanette from JK's Cross Stitch, which is an Australian and New Zealand cross stitch supplier, has advised us through Facebook that a lot of the back orders are going to start shipping and being ordered and everything. And I think I have like 10 10 orders that have back ordered items on it. I know that I have the threads for Quaker Snowflakes on back order. I have threads to finish off my Coffee Addict sampler from Heartstring Samplery. I have Picture This Plus fabric, which apparently will be coming in soon for people that have been waiting over 8 months or something like that. I've got fabric waiting so I can start Sakura by Autumn Lane Stitchery, and like beads, and I just have all this stuff that's coming in, so that could come in within the next 3 to 6 weeks, or start coming in within the next 3 to 6 weeks, which is incredibly exciting. I am definitely getting my hopes up when I shouldn't be. But very exciting if it does come in, because then that means that there's a couple of finishes and a couple of new starts, all of that fun stuff. And then just see where I get to things. I want to get Aquabella, Crystal Mermaid Aquabella, that's the one. I want to get that back on a Q-snap as well. I have purchased the Amethyst Mermaid, the February release from Bella Filipina. I have purchased that through Leslie at Under the Sea Fabrics to come with my fabric of the month. That hasn't shipped. I haven't got any of those yet, but they should potentially, hopefully, all be an order that can come through once the shipping thing sorts itself out. And I also will have another round of my, I can't think of it now, Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers Fabric of the Month Club. Now, that is the only Fabric of the Month Club that I have actually received so far. I'm part of that one, and I'm part of the Under the Sea Fabrics, and then I get, which I have only had one of, the Color Cascade, Color and Cotton Floss of the Month. But so far, Gwen at Fiberlicious would have to be one of my favorite creators in what she's come out with the Fabric of the Month. Plus also so like in tune with getting things posted. Just a little shout out there. Like, we haven't had USPS shipping here at all. So every 3 months, I've just continued paying the shipping, and then once that totals enough to ship via UPS, I'm instantly just getting that notification, and UPS ships. It's actually taking a lot longer than it has at the moment, but ships so quickly, and I'm getting 3 or 4 months worth of order. So just those little things make a massive difference in the level of service. And then I'm just so completely blown away. It's just been great. So I highly recommend. And if anyone is ever looking for someone to combine a shipping order with to Victoria or Australia from the US, and you want to reach out to me, happy for you to message me. If there's something that I want, I would love to help out with getting something shipped over here while we try and hopefully get all this stuff sorted. But with the conversation of shipping coming back, God knows how long or how quickly, I want to give higher than 40 count fabric a go. Obviously, a lot of us would know that Yumi at M&M's is a 56 count 1/1 stitcher. And I know that 56 count exists. Obviously, there are people that even stitch on that, just regular over 2 or whatever. But with the December floss box, Yumi has included, and I think also with the October box, a couple of different styles of thread. So 1 ply and 2 ply, 6 strand, 12 strand. I think it was 12 strand or 12 ply. So different thicknesses of threads. And I would like to try and find some fabric to use them on. And I think that also has to do with the fact that Kaylee at Kaylee Cross Stitch has been stitching little quirky Quakers on 56 count over 1. And I'm really jealous that there are other people using all that, doing it, and I can't do it. So if you know of anywhere that sells 56 count or above 40 count that I can get my little hands on, let me know. I am open to, I think 5 Poppies is the only one that I'm aware of, but I'm open to looking at purchasing from overseas so long as the shipping allows for me to get it. So let me know. Otherwise, I think you might be able to hear it in my voice. It is currently, this minute video is 42 minutes long. It's currently 1:45. My eyes are starting to sting and I'm starting to get very tired in the throat and voice. Pardon me. Oh my goodness. 28 going on 100 at the moment. So I think that is a very clear sign that either I need a coffee or I need bed, and I'm not sure which one. We'll see. Otherwise, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. I hope you have enjoyed something that you have seen and like it enough that you would like to subscribe and come back for another video in future. I am thinking that I will do a fabric giveaway in my next video. What one, I don't know yet. But if that's not a little cliffhanger or a little teaser to keep you coming back, I don't know what is. Otherwise, I am sending big love to everyone, every fellow Australian, especially along the East Coast, international, and just healing for the world at the moment. Thoughts are with everyone, sending big love to everyone that needs it, and I appreciate that you've hung out with me during this time. Hopefully it's been a little bit of a reprieve from what's been going on in everyone else's worlds, but for me, wishing everyone health and safety and happy stitching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.